As David said, I've enjoyed open dialogue with the club for some time now in regards to my final season in charge at Port Adelaide. Here at Port Adelaide, we'll always have an eye for the future, and as I've been saying for some time, Josh Carr will be an outstanding future senior coach of this football club. Congratulations, Josh. Probably hung around a little bit too long for you, but congratulations, Josh, on your appointment. I have no doubt you'll be a very successful coach here at Port Adelaide. Without question, I still have the fire and the burn and the desire to lead this club in 2025.
What's going on, Port fans? Welcome back to another video on the channel, and today we're going to be talking about today's news that the official announcement of the succession plan of Ken Hinkley stepping down as Port Adelaide coach at the end of 2025, and Josh Carr will be taking over as Port Adelaide's new senior coach from 2026 onwards. We talked about this last week, and we talked about the rumour mill of what the potential plan could look like and how it'll pan out, and a lot of people had mixed reactions to it. And today we've got the official word that Ken will be stepping down after 2025. There will be no extension, there will be no adaptation of his coaching role. It'll be Josh Carr in and Ken Hinkley out. So start the car for 2026. I wanted to talk about the fallout from all of this, and a lot of your opinions I've seen across all social medias have been, well, from what I've seen as a standpoint, quite negative and sort of standoffish from a point of view. And I'm here to look at both sides of the argument. I definitely have my own point of view, which I think is the right decision for Ken to leave. I think any more after this year, if it was a failed year or not a completely successful year, there'd be more pressure on the club. So I think the end of the year is the right time. I think the announcement of this is the wrong time. I strongly believe that this is a gift to Ken and Port Adelaide in general as a freebie year. And I feel like that there is no sort of circumstances for it. There's no sort of punishment if there's anything that goes wrong this year, and it's sort of an easier approach. Now, that could work in the favour of Port Adelaide because of there's a clear outcome of this year regardless of the results. There's a clear space in terms of what to work with. There is stability within the club, which is always a successful plan for great businesses and a great approach for a football club. In this instance, I just feel like it is the wrong time. Now, I could be vastly wrong, and it's from within me. I say this, and I say this quite openly, because when it comes to our football club and what I've been able to see as, as a fan for the last 28 years, and as a person that's run a YouTube channel diving into deeper details on what could be and what can't be and everything like that, this generally is an indication of they know it's time. Ken knows it's time. He publicly said as well in the press conference, which you haven't seen, go to the Port Adelaide YouTube channel and go check it out for yourself to see what Ken has to say, what Josh Carr has to say, and what Koshy has to say as well.
I think time in the game is one part of it, but also, when I left in 2015 and when coached North Adelaide, that was about, for me personally, that was about my development as a coach and learning a lot about myself, being in charge of your own team and managing a group of players to boards to whatever it is. That was the first part of it, and then when I went back in the system in the AFL, I was really conscious of not coming back here to start off with. I felt that I needed to go to another football club to learn and learn more about the way other football clubs work, and again, that was, I made sure that it was somewhere else, and then obviously coming back here, I felt like, I ticked those boxes, being ready, and then understanding on where we're at as a football club, that there might be an opportunity here. Now, there was no guarantees in that, but I guess for my family and for me and for this football club, me being here was where I thought I should be.
I feel as though this is there's two parts to this. One, it's the part of the announcement and the timing of it. Two, it's the board structure as such. It's the key dot points of what the board were looking for and the football department were looking for. They instantly said straight away, and Koshy said this in the press conference, that they're looking for a first-time coach. Same sort of formula as it was when Ken came along. They're looking for someone within their football program. They know Josh is the quality. They know his qualities and what he's been able to achieve. They know how amazing he is as a football person, and he's obviously a Port Adelaide boy, and he won a premiership in 2004, was assistant coach for a period of time as well, and obviously has done his fair share of different strategies and different places with, as we mentioned in the previous video, and as most of you should know, he's won a premiership with North Adelaide, and obviously was a senior assistant coach at Fremantle. So there's different ways you can dissect this, and the clear indication for me is that the board were very closed-minded. They sort of had this idea for the future, and I love the club planning for the future, and we've always been really successful at never really bottoming out. And ever under Coach Ken Hinkley, with the lowest we finished is I think 10th. So as a personnel change, I think Josh Garnes is the right person for the job. What annoys me partly as well with the whole thing is the fact that it's the timing. Josh Carr is a great person. I back him in as the coach. The way I look at it as well is I look at all the fan reactions, and what ticks me off a little bit is a lot of people come out and say, and I know that we see a minority of what people think, what fans think. And what ticks me off is you'll get the outside noise, the outside public and the outside fans from different clubs laugh at us. We're a joke, we're timing this wrong, and because they know best. Internally at Port Adelaide, and within us as fans, there's a lot of, we are, as I said, we see the minority, but there's a lot of people that are coming out and saying, why wasn't Ken step away now? And then there's a lot of comments saying, why is it, wasn't it 3 years ago? And why don't we look outside? What's the difference between picking Josh Carr and picking anyone else? Is it because he's been within Port Adelaide, been under Ken Hinkley, and it's just another, as some people have said, puppet for Port Adelaide to utilise as a coach? Do you think that even going outside and looking, is it because people are so narrow-minded, similar to the board, the way they've looked at it as well? And I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying that your opinion is very narrow-minded in a way that you've looked at it and gone, right, well, they didn't get the man I want, so why are we getting him? And this sucks. Why didn't we get Nathan Buckley? Why didn't we get John Longmire? Why didn't we go after someone else? Why don't we? I saw someone suggest Darren Cahill, which was insane. The tennis coach. I understand he's a massive Port man and knows his way around utilising coaching techniques and everything. But yeah, anyway, so it's, for me, and the way this is a successful transition, a smart move, a timely move, one that can be prepared well and is very organised. But it's also the wrong time. Because why is it 3 weeks out from round one? And the amazing thing is, this is what I learnt as well in the press conference, is the fact that the players were told the same, so similar time frame as what we've been told. Which, yeah, I found quite interesting. I thought they would have known a couple of days earlier, even last week, when it's sort of the last 10 days have sort of been progressed into this. I thought they would have known, which I found quite interesting. And the fact as well that the CEO, Matthew Richardson, told the club as well, told the players, not Ken. Now, Ken's obviously going to have a moment where he has the players privately and fronts them for the first time after this announcement, which, is going to be quite saddening for him. And I know the relationship that he's built with the players are extraordinary. Father figure, and he said in the press conference, it's going to be a grandfather figure, which I thought was quite funny. It's amazing to think that this was an announcement that's, I think, been pressured from last week's rumour, put into succession. They've announced it, get the thing out the way, everyone knows it once, and let's just move on. And I think the fallout has been, not as what they've thought. I think for Port Adelaide, I think a lot of reaction from this has been quite interesting as well. We saw Kane Cornes on his 43-degree day run suggest that Port Adelaide has no hope this year, which was such a strong football program. That comment by Kane really hit home, because I sat here, well, not here directly, but I heard what he said, and I was like, God, I hate that comment. But you're so probably right that we can pretty much have no hope for this year. Does it write off our year? Does it release the shackles and everyone's like, right, we're not playing for Ken's coaching career and there's no pressure on us anymore. Let's play freely and go out there and play and have fun. Like, we take it back to the start, 2013, we come back here, we make footy fun. We're here to make footy fun and enjoyable. Is it that? Is it that outcome? There's a lot to dissect from the press conference itself, and I reckon you should all go see that press conference. I'll leave a link in the bio for you to go watch and see, because it's incredible that we sit here as a fan base and we're getting told and spoon-fed all this information, and yet the one thing that hasn't been fully promoted is Josh Carr himself. We've sat here and everyone's been like, yep, Josh is a great coach. Yes, this is that. Everyone knows it did bits and pieces. But there's no way in hell you cannot promote him as a coach. I strongly will stand on this, because as fans, there's been nothing but a contradiction of, yep, no, don't want Josh, but I don't want Ken. We want someone else, or this is just going to be the same shit. There is actually no evidence to suggest Josh Carr won't be a successful coach at Port Adelaide. This is a transition year. At the end of the year, obviously, it's going to be one of those years where I actually don't know how Port Adelaide's going to be this year. Normally, I have a fair indication, but I do not know how Port's going to be this year. And it's scary. It definitely puts a lot of nervousness back into the system. But at the same time, I fully respect Josh. I think he's going to be a great coach for Port Adelaide, and I'm so glad that everyone can sort of sit here now and be like, right, well, welcome Josh, let's do this thing, let's get on board in 2026. And yeah, the Ken haters are going to become Josh haters, probably. Okay, Port fans, well, let me know in the comments below your thoughts about this whole situation. The succession plan is now active. It'll be happening in 2026 with Josh Carr being announced as new senior coach of Port Adelaide going into next year. Ken and his men will have one final year, one last time, to see if we can get Ken his premiership at Port Adelaide. Captain Connor Rosie and the men have to do it. And you know what, the one thing I think sort of forgotten in all this is there is the very, 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 very high chance that this is Travis Boak's last year, and this is going to be an emotional year for Port Adelaide. I think now we get all this out of the way, we dissect it all, and you really just take all the way the layers, and you're like, this is the one last ride for Ken, this is the last stand. And I'm keen to see how it all goes. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new for plenty more Port Adelaide and AFL content to come your way. Leave a comment about your thoughts about this succession plan. Can't wait to talk to you all about footy and everything that's to come. AFL season predictions 2025 video comes out tomorrow. Make sure you check that out, and plenty more to come. We'll be live streaming on the weekend as well with the All-Stars versus Fremantle. We're going to be doing that with JT for the glass table, so look out for that as well. Thank you for watching. My name's Anthony, and as always, can't pair.